Okay, gesture drawing. Number 2. This is definitely the kind of gesture drawing you should be looking for. It's the whole body, and it's not just a body standing upright, it's a body actually doing something. And it's not a 3D model posed by another human being, which is like, you know, someone else interpreting what a person might look like if they were doing something. It's a real human being in the middle of actually doing a real thing. And, you know, in a class, in a live drawing class, you get people standing or sitting. And when they have to hold a pose, 2 minutes, they can actually do some interesting poses and they can hold them for 2 minutes. 5 minutes, really good models can hold a pose for 5 minutes. That's somewhat interesting, but once you get beyond that, it becomes pretty difficult. So, most of the poses you end up drawing tend to be pretty typical, some version of standing or sitting. So, one of the advantages you get by doing a gesture drawing that is not straight from a live drawing class is that you can find poses that are not something you could ever find in a live drawing class. And you're going to see a lot of that here, a ton of that, because that is taking advantage of the situation you have. You can get people being active, and that is awesome, especially if you're trying to learn how to do, storytelling, and you've got people in motion, being active in your stories. So the best way to learn what people actually look like when they're in action is to find people in action doing things. And so this is a perfect example of that. So, okay, I've got my little clock set to 2, my phone clock set to 2 minutes. So I'm gonna hit the two. I'm gonna do the 2 minute pose, and just show you what it looks like to do, 2 minute gesture drawing, and hopefully I'll be a little better than yesterday. And then after that, in the part 2 of the video, we'll go a little bit deeper and look at what I'm actually looking for. We'll take this figure and we'll break it down a little bit and look at what we're actually looking for in the gesture drawing, and what you should be looking for, etc., etc. So, okay, here we go. I've hit start, so here we go. And I changed my pencil to red because so she's got clothes on, and somehow I do this all the time. I switch to my eraser tool. Boy, oh boy. So her line of action is really much straighter than I would have imagined. She's got that waist bit there, come down. She's got that leg. Why is my pencil not on 100%? Thought that Einstein. "44 seconds left. Oy, oy, oy. Boy, that jacket really hides her form well. Oof, that's it. That's 2 minutes. All right. Wow. Why is my... Oh. That's why. Although... Oh. I didn't have this set to black. Ha! No wonder. Oh, now I get a good line. Derp. Okay, so, yeah. Here I went to my eraser again. Yippee, yippee, yippee. So I'm just refining this a tad. And then, all right, so that's, you saw how simple the gesture drawing is in 2 minutes. Very simple and difficult to see. This line is really that top of the jacket. So really there should be a floomp here, and then, if I'm just following what I see, right? And then kind of comes down and then back under more over here. Same jacket comes down. So really the arm comes up, under the shoulder pads on the jacket cover up the form underneath. Same thing, the way the jacket is bunched up, right below the elbows. Anyway, you start to... Arms are a little thick here, but arms coming out, and then... But it's not too far off, really. We see a little bit of top of the... All right. Yes, you beep, 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 beep. She actually has a little more shape than I originally gave her credit for. Let's see. Making those hips start too low. Yep. This is actually... you can't do this with a real model in a live drawing class, because the model, after the 2 minutes, changes into a different pose. And so it's lost forever. It's gone. Poof. Didn't get it? Too bad. So this is another advantage of having a picture that doesn't change. It's rather nice. I've got it to look at for just a few more minutes if I want to. Blah. Those socks are good for giving form, yeah? So let's get this foot here, right? that line of that foot. You got that ankle, and then almost like this. Yepers. Yeah. Same. Now, same as I said before, yesterday, everything I'm doing here, expanding on that, is expanding on that initial 2-minute drawing. Whatever, however good or bad this is. And it all works or doesn't work because of getting that gesture drawing down. Get the gesture drawing down right. Get your foundation of your house put down right, and everything else will work. Don't get the foundation right, and then everything you build on top of that foundation, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much cool stuff you add to it, it's going to be wrong. It's that old proverb, building your house on a foundation of sand. Everything is going to crumble. That foot could use some work. But so our head kind of gets head last. Because it sits on top of the torso, sits on the neck there. The rest of the body doesn't grow out of the torso. This whole thing really, the way her body type is, to be honest, I think the wonder of digital is I can take all of this and bring it out just a little bit, because her hips are just a little wider. Come on now. I think that's a little bit more. Start to replace that line of action with, come on, pencil. Hello, I'm talking to you, pal. Okay, I think that feels a little more correct. All right. Actually, get those ears a little higher. Then she's got her cool. She's got a high hairline. Yeah. Got little hairs. She's in motion, in action, so she's got some hairs flying up. This side is kind of lost in sunlight. And now you can use the I'm not doing that totally accurately, but I'm trying to give it just a touch more flare. You can use the clothes to help with that sensation of motion and action. So anyway, okay, so that's the drawing, and then a little bit of refinement work, put into it to take it from that initial gesture drawing to more like what I would work from, as an initial under drawing of my own. And then in the next part, we will go in and look at a little more detail into what, I don't know. I've kind of done it in my refinement process here. I was going to go look, screw it. Let's just do it here while we're in this one video. Why not? So, line of action. I made my pencil red today so you can see it a little better. Running right down the middle of the torso, right? So, and then you get this line right here. That's what I would consider your main line of action. This is where her weight is going to be when she lands. She's got, not really weight, but she does have pressure on the board here, and then it touches the ground here. So there's a little bit of weight transfer here, and you can sort of see that by the fact that, okay, so when the shoe skews a little bit in this direction, that's because when you apply weight downward on the shoe, it pushes in this direction down onto this surface, because this surface is not parallel with the ground, it's angled this way, and so it pushes in this way so that it will create a right angle. That gets into physics and other stuff, which we don't need to get into here, but that's science is a hobby of mine, so that's what that gets into. But that's the tension and torsion that I was talking about before, and that brings so much authenticity to your work when you understand these things, and when you know how to see them and when you can get them into your drawings, it brings so much authenticity to the work. And when it helps you, especially when you can do it in a subtle manner that helps you convey the one the body is one fluid unit, and that um, it's not a bunch of pieces and parts put together, right? So you come out here, and it's just the subtle angles that you can get into your work when you know what should be happening. So when you see that little twist, and so that line of the shoe there, right, twisting in this way, it conveys information. It conveys a lot of information, so much, especially like, how the bottom of the shoe is there. It conveys so much information, so much more than you might think. Um, uh, Same here. Looking at this, obviously, the jeans is an indicator of form. Um, when you're drawing lines and stuff, it's one thing to just draw a line around like where the torso is, but then look, her jeans are a little loose right here. That's great. It adds such subtlety, and conveys more information. Just that the clothes aren't perfectly form fitting, like clothes are not. Same thing with understanding how denim works. Denim always has this boink, this weird. Most pants do, I guess, really, but uh, same thing with understanding the knee area and thighs. There's that cut in there, and there's her hips, and then the outer leg, and then when you have the knees in here, you always have this part of the knee that comes over here and then down here, and this inner part of the calf is always lower than the outer part of the calf, hence this line. Same thing with this, turning in space, right? So you get that. And you got to make sure you think about form when you're going away, and those socks are great for helping define form. And she's got something in her pocket. Got those wrinkles of the shirt, which help define form. So, she's got a black shirt on, but also, I see this all the time. Men wanting to draw every detail of a woman's chest. When women wear clothes, that's just not what it looks like. Also, more form information by how the wrinkles work on the shirt. You can actually almost see the line where the jacket shirt thingy was sewn. And this is great for understanding wrinkles, for understanding how when that part of the shirt comes down, there's always going to be a bunch of wrinkles there, and they're right there where they're supposed to be. Well, she's got to get rid of drawing her chest underneath, but a little pocket there, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's actually like a thumb glove thingy? Interesting. Anyway, also I like on this, you see that part of that little bulbous part on the outer part of the wrist on there. I like how you can see that. You just get this You know, I tried to indicate in my drawing the line of the knuckles, understanding where the thumb is and its length in relation to the other fingers. That's a thing I see with other artists a lot. Yeah, so that's some good notes. Also, so you're going to have, you know, her neck comes down. Her clavicles would be in this area and going up because her weight is suspended because she's in the air. So usually your arms are up, which they are, and because the arms are up, your clavicles are gonna be a little up here, and then there's your what was that, your trapezius or whatever, and then so her arm, shoulders, under the shirt there, right? So this is her upper arm is going back in space a little bit. This one's going back in space, and then this one's coming forward in space quite a bit, whereas this one's coming forward in space just a tiny bit. Which is confirmed right here by this glove and how you can see the curvature on this right there. So there you go. Yeah. Okay. So, yippee-ki-yay. That's day 2. Many, many more to come. Happy drawing, everybody.